Yo, hey everybody, how are you guys doing? This is Antoine Thomas here with the Silver Lining Real Estate Group. And man, we're joined here today with my business partner, Charles Bell, with the Silver Lining Real Estate Group. How are you doing today, brother?
Hey, I'm doing all right, Antoine. How are you?
Man, I love my life, so I'm good, brother. So guys, this is our second episode. So the whole purpose of us even getting together and having a real estate TV show is we feel it's very important that we educate our community, right? Everybody that we come in contact with, whether it is real estate or just anything financial or just any advice in general, we have a lot of connections. We learn a lot every day as we try to self-improve our lives. And so we want to always give back to the community, give back to people. And we figured this would be an easy way to touch people virtually and give a good, valuable info. So, and I know Charles is one of the best, in my opinion, one of the best people in the business. So he's very knowledgeable as well, has experience, has great energy. So this is going to be a good show, man. You ready?
I'm ready. Always.
Let's do it.
Ready.
Let's do it. So, man, here we are. So we're in January already. So 2020 just flew by. And we've been able to help a lot of people. We're very blessed to help 124 families, right? And that's a big number. And we're extremely grateful and excited to be able to do something like that because it's very uncommon. But through that came a lot of it was a lot of experiences that we felt were needed for us to continue to grow and learn as professionals, right? And we figured to start out the year, it would be the best way to educate people on what not to do in buying a house, because again, it is very complex, especially if you don't have a good advisor helping you through the process. But there are a lot of things that you could forget to do, or if it's not explained or explained correctly, you may literally mess up your whole opportunity of being able to be a homeowner. So we don't want to do that. We want to make sure in 2021, whether you're a first-time home buyer or this is your second or third time buying a home, that we do it correctly. So the topic of today, we're going to talk about the 10 commandments, right? So when going through the mortgage process, all right? So why don't we kick this off? I'm going to do a screen share, guys. Let's see. Why don't we do this? And I'm going to share a document, and let me know if Charles, if you could see that.
Yeah, I can see it. Can we get it a little bit bigger? You know me.
Can you still see it?
And still can't see. No, we have our logo up there.
Uh-oh. Okay, hold on. Let me go back. So the beauty of this show is that it's live and we're gonna have bloopers, all right? So it just makes it fun.
All the way live.
Yeah, we all the way live. All right, let me try this again. Let's see. Okay. And uh-oh. I may have lost this. So let me do something, guys. Bear with me for a second. Bear with me. Can you see that, Charles?
Yep.
Okay. So what we're gonna do?
It was just a little small.
What we'll make it very simple. Man, you guys are getting backstage insight in our documents, man. Oh my goodness. I don't know about all that. Okay. Can you see that?
Yep.
Perfect. Now I'm gonna try to see if I can get you to show up back on my, because I can't see you. There we go. Cool. Perfecto. All right. So the 10 commandments when going through the mortgage process. And what we'll do, we'll go through each one. Let me see if I can make this bigger for everybody. A little better. There we go. So we'll go through each one and we'll kind of just briefly explain what it means. We even may share some stories of what we've actually gone through, whether it's personally or because I think me and you, we both did a refinance this year.
Yes.
Or in 2020.
Tomorrow.
Yeah. So so we can kind of share our own personal experience, and obviously we won't say any clients' names, but we helped a lot of people last year that maybe have went through some of the stuff. So we'll share some of the things as well in our actual experiences. So I can start us off. And number one, the first commandment when going through the mortgage process, thou shalt not change jobs, become self-employed, or quit your job. Okay. Now I want to talk about that real quick. Okay. If you are using a lender or any type of mortgage, right? One of the things a lender and a mortgage underwriter, they're going to make sure that you are employed and you have income coming in. Okay. So you have a job, but you're in the process of looking for a new one. Listen, if you want the house very bad, you're not going to quit your job or even, I mean, I'll say this, don't quit your job until after closing. But if you're going to transition into a new job, have a conversation with the lender. Make sure that they know everything that's happening. Like literally don't be 2 weeks into the transaction and then you talk to your lender like, oh, by the way, I just went to a new job, right? They need to know that, right? They need to know that information. So if you're going to transition jobs, hey, have the conversation with your lender. Absolutely do not just quit your job, okay? And don't think just because you got money saved in the bank that that's going to be, no, they want to see income coming in consistently. And if you're self-employed or you're 1099 or, you know, they want to see a couple years of history showing that you have been not only making money, like bringing in revenue, they want to see if you've been profitable. So if you have a business that you run, they want to see that after all your overhead that you make some money to be able to afford your way of living in this new house you're buying. And if you're like a real estate agent, they just want to make sure again that you have money coming in and it has been sustained for a couple, I would say a year or two, right? Sometimes some lenders may let you get away with just 1 year of showing that history, but most of them want to see a couple years, right, Charles?
Most definitely. And another thing to touch on that, you know, on the job scenario, if your amount of hours are changing and fluctuating, you need to turn that stuff into your lender. Keep them up to speed.
Mm.
Hey, I'm not working all that overtime. Hey, we're only working, you know, 60 hours instead of the normal 80 hours this pay period. Because little things like that could definitely knock you out of qualifying for your loan. I've seen it happen, and it's just a lack of communication. You know, if you're a buyer, you know, you got to communicate with your lender anytime, you know, income changes.
Absolutely.
Immediately.
Preach. So when this is done airing, listen to that again because that is so important. Make sure that and you think that, you know, this would be something that most people won't do because they'll think about it. Well, when you're in the heat of, you know, finding a new job or, you know, if you're in the heat of finding, let's say you find a house and you've only been running your business for 6 months, you're just excited to be able to see if you can buy the house, right? You don't think about all the technicalities that come with it, right? So, you know, if you are lucky enough to, you know, start a business and, you know, maybe you didn't have prior income coming in and a lender being able to see, because they'll also look at assets and other stuff too. That's a whole nother video. But you just want to make sure that you are following the guidelines to ensure you actually close on that house. The worst pain you can feel is making one of these mistakes after all the hard work you put in and the money you invested already into this house just for it to fall apart. And now another buyer gets to scoop it up, right? So don't do that. All right, so number two.
Sorry. For one other thing on that, also make sure you have all income accounted for because you could be selling yourself and your family short. If you have extra income that's coming in, maybe you didn't think about it at the time, but when it does register, make sure you get that extra income over to your lender as well. Might be able to get you pre-approved for a little more.
Hey, good point. Good point, CB. And see, I call Charles CB. Listen, we're bringing you into our world. The live, we're not going to be up here all super proper and we're going to talk. We're having a conversation here. You get to see how we talk in the office. We are true professionals, but we have fun. We enjoy life. Okay. So I just want to make that clear. All right, number 2. Go ahead, CB. You want to read that one?
Thou shalt not buy a car, truck, or van, or just like it says in parentheses, before you close on your property, if you were to make one of these bonehead decisions, you could possibly be living in it.
Yes.
Don't go changing that credit portfolio while we're under contract before we close. You're definitely setting yourself up or putting yourself in a bad situation. Always, again, reach back out to your lender, have that discussion. We understand things do happen, things come up. You might have to buy a new car, but definitely you want to reach out to your lender, tell them the situation, and let them advise you and walk you through the best steps.
Amen. The 10 Commandments we preaching today, baby. No, good point, CB. That's a good point because again, there's a such there's a such thing as delayed gratification, right? And trust me, that car is gonna be there month after. Let's secure the most important thing first. All right, that Tesla's gonna be there. Trust me. So good point, CB. All right, number 3, I can read this one. Thou shall not apply for a new credit card or just any new credit. The 10% savings isn't worth it. All right. So, man, we're sold 1,000 plus times a day. I know in my mailbox, probably today, I got 3 or 4 you're pre-approved or pre-qualified for this line of credit or this business line of credit, whether it's personal, business, right? So we got to make sure that we're being smart. And if we want to maybe open up a new credit line, have the conversation with your professional first. Here at Silverline Real Estate Group, one of the things that I know Charles, myself, and everybody within the organization at Silverlining, we make it very clear to our people that we're always here for you. So it doesn't matter if you bought with us a year ago. If you have a question about a line of credit, reach out to us. Let's have a conversation, okay? And if you have not bought a house with us, or maybe in the future you plan to, and you have those like mails or emails that you're getting from all these credit companies, credit card companies, so on and so forth, shoot us an email, give us a call, right? Text us. We will be happy to have a conversation with you to make sure we're not making that mistake. Okay. So yeah, go ahead, CB, number 4.
Thou shalt not spend the money you have set aside for your closing. Hey, how are we going to close? That's right there is a no-brainer right there. Come on now. You spend that money, then what we're going to do?
Yeah. There's nothing else to say about that.
Yeah, nothing else to say about that one. That one right there is just a no-brainer. Just to come on now.
Yes, absolutely. All right, number 5, thou shalt not buy furniture or any major purchases using credit. You know what? Let me see. I don't know. I don't see it. Maybe we'll even add this in there. Not only do not buy furniture or buy that new PS5 on a credit card, right? That new PS5, with the Spider-Man game and NBA 2K. No, don't do that. Okay. And I wouldn't even pay off a credit card yet. I would probably just wait. And I don't want to say probably. What I would do if I'm not going to put money on a credit card and, make my debt to income worse, my debt to income ratio worse. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up that phone and I'm going to call Charles. I'm going to say, Charles, if I do this, what will happen? And that's what I'm doing. All right. Use the professional and make sure that you are not making any mistakes. All right. Credit is important that you have it, but don't run up your credit cards and don't even pay it off until you talk with your lender or somebody at Silverlining. All right. We'll move on to the next one.
All right. Thou shalt not let anyone pull your credit report. So when it's in crunch time and you're being pre-approved, because at the very beginning, that's all it is a pre-approval. Once we get everything in and our lender, turns in that application, until we get, basically that approval of the loan status, then everything's kind of up in the air. So you don't want to go have people running your credit. You don't want to be applying for credit cards, things like that. I know there's certain situations that might come up where you might have to do some of these things, but as soon as you find out, somebody mentions, hey, we're going to have to pull your credit, you tell them to hold up. Tell them to hold up. You will call them right back, get off the phone with them, reach out to us, your lender, and make sure that that's going to be okay. Because like I said, it's like a fine tooth comb. I mean, you might be real close to not being pre-approved or approved at all. And as soon as 3 or 4 points, 5, 10, maybe $100, $200, next thing you know, you're out of the game. You're no longer pre-approved for a home. So you want to make sure you're just communicating with your lender before you make any of these decisions, while under contract.
So true. So true. Good point. I just gotten a refinancing, historically low rates. And, I just actually bought my new house. It was December 2019, right? I ended up refinancing in December of 2020. So just a month ago. And obviously when you're refinancing, they got to do a credit pool, right? They got to make sure your credit's all good. It knocked my credit down, I think 7 points, maybe 6, 7 points. And obviously I'm in a position, because I am aware of these things. I'm in a position to where that doesn't affect me, right? Because I strategically made sure that my credit score was extremely high. But sometimes for some people, maybe your credit score is at the number where, if you, like Charles mentioned, if it goes down below, like maybe you're a 620, you do not want anybody knocking you below a 620 to be able to get a good interest rate on an FHA loan, right? I'm not saying you won't get pre-approved, but those 7 points could make a huge difference. And like Charles mentioned, it could be the difference between you getting pre-approved or actually getting pre-approved, or it could be the difference between having a 4.0 interest rate and maybe like a 4.4 interest rate, right? And I will go into details of what the difference is between those two numbers, but over the long haul of a 30-year loan, 15, 20-year loan, that's the big difference, isn't it, CB?
Oh yeah, you're talking about money that you could be spending elsewhere.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Yep. You can use that money to buy the PS5 and the Spider-Man Miles Morales. All right. So we'll move on. So number 7, thou shalt not make any large deposits or transfers that are not payroll. So now this is a little different, because I know a lot of people aren't making large deposits every day. But if you are, please, please make sure you communicate that to the lender. The lender wants to make sure this is legit money. I know a lot of people personally, and I love them to death. I know a lot of people personally that keep a lot of money literally in their house, like in a shoebox, right? And it's legit money. They just don't really, they believe in having money on hand at home. And I tell them, if you're going to be buying a house, you need to put that money in, and we need to wait a month before you do anything, because that money needs to be able to sit for a little bit, right? Yeah. So it's not the end of the world, but let's make sure that we're not during the time that you're in the transaction, don't do it. Okay. And if you need to do it for a specific reason, make sure you talk to your lender. And again, your lender will give you strategically, he will give you a plan to where you deposit a certain amount each week or each day that won't raise a red flag, if that makes sense. Okay. So just be smart about that. And again, just ask your lender, they'll be able to help you out with that. All right. Moving on.
Number 8, thou shalt not change bank accounts or move any money between accounts. And that kind of ties in with number 7. If you have multiple accounts and you're switching money around, these underwriters are so strict and they have criteria that they have to go by. So as soon as you start doing that, again, it's going to raise that red flag. Next thing you know, you're getting audited. and now our loan has got pushed out. We were closing next week. Now we have to
Mm,
verify more information. And next thing you know, again, the loan is getting pushed out. We're not closing on time. A lot of unhappy people. So again, just make sure you're communicating anytime there's money coming up, you got to get it in the bank. You got to move some money around. Just make sure you're doing the right things. And all you have to do is reach out to your lender and they can definitely get you dialed in.
amen. I love it. Number 9, thou shalt not co-sign for a loan for anyone. Anyone means friend, your bestie, your mom. Listen, if you want to buy that house, don't make this mistake, okay? And the obvious reason is the fact that now, if you're on a cosign, number one, co-signing on a loan, period, I just don't think it's the right way to go. I don't care if it's your daughter or your child or friend or whatever. But they're doing a credit pool. They still got to check your credit, and you're taking on all that liability, and you're not going to even enjoy whatever it is, right? And if you're going to be purchasing a house, the last thing you want to be doing is purchasing another big asset and co-signing for somebody, whether it's a car or a house. Don't even co-sign for a piece of gum. All right. Don't co-sign at all. Okay. So just be smart about that. All right. Moving on.
All right. Thou shalt not close any open accounts or pay any old collections.
Yes.
I've witnessed this firsthand. When I bought my second home, I wasn't hip. My first home I built and didn't really have all these lender issues or whatever. I just dealt with a builder. But now I know closing accounts will affect your credit in a negative manner. I learned that firsthand. I thought I was doing well. Oh, I closed this account. I paid it off. Next thing you know, my lender was like, "Hey, why did you do that?" I was like, "Well, I thought I was doing the right thing." No, that's the wrong thing, because
Yes.
creditors look at it like, "Hey, I think I closed off about 11 grand worth of credit cards. Thought it was smooth, thought it was slick, but it was wrong. It negatively affect my credit." But fortunate enough, my credit was good enough. I was still good, but I ended up getting a little higher interest rate on my loan.
Mm.
So definitely don't close any accounts out. Just try to do the percentage. Keep your balance around that third, and you'll be winning, scoring the highest you can. And old collections as well. You think
Mm.
that
Good point.
if your lender hasn't told you, hey, you need to take care of this, then leave it alone. All right. It could be
Mm.
something that could possibly fall off. It could be something that you could, get taken off, and, just saving that money. A lot of people, they look at, hey, I ask them, hey, you know anything about your credit? And yeah, I think I need a little bit of work, and I'm working on it right now. And then we come to find out they're doing stuff that they don't need to do.
Mm.
So they're actually putting money where they don't need to actually put it. That's why we say, come on in and sit down with us, and let's go over it. But yeah, don't close any accounts out, and watch those collections, because a lot of times you're paying these people and you already paid them.
Mm. So true.
So you
That's a
definitely have to watch that.
No, Charles, that's a great point. And you just kind of sparked something in my head, man. I can go on for another 10 minutes about that. Um, what's crazy is when you are looking online, you're Googling how to get prepared to buy a home, or get how to get my credit to where it needs to be and all the stuff. What I have found, there's a lot of conflicting information.
Yeah.
And with the way the lending institutions and the government, they're making new rules every pretty much every year, and multiple times within the year things change, right? And those articles or blog posts that you read, they can't keep up with the changes. So it's telling you to put all this money, your hard-earned money, towards something to pay this down. This is going to be very good. Where at the end of the day, you could have kept that money because you were already good to go, right?
Yep.
At the end of the day, a great real estate agent, a real estate professional, lending professional, they're going to make sure you not only get what you want in the new house, but you save money while doing it. So we want to make sure that we're just being smart. We're taking our time. You don't need a rush. Oh man, I read this. Oh man, let me go pay this off now. Babe, go ahead. Yeah, submit it. Submit the payment. Yeah. Hey, calm down. Have a conversation. Let's talk about it, because we want to make sure that you're putting the money where it needs to go. Closing the accounts, naturally for me, I'm like, yeah, let's pay it off, close it out. But it's not going to help you. Your credit score, I can't remember the exact percentage of it, so I apologize, but a pretty significant amount of your score comes from the amount of accounts that you have that are in good standing.
Mhm.
So if you start closing your credit history and making it shorter and shorter, it's not helping you, right?
No.
And it's very hard to learn that from an article or a blog post, because, to believe it or not, most of those people making a blog post or those articles, they're not in financial good position. They're not homeowners. They haven't been a part of the real estate process. They have a 600 credit score, right? So we just got to make sure we're being smart on who we're listening to, because again, it's very easy to pull up incorrect information on the internet. And I'm sure Charles would agree. So let me back out of this real quick. Can we get back to showing our beautiful faces? Yeah, let's go. There we go. So guys, listen, we've already been on here long enough. We will always want to try to keep these short, 15 to 20 minutes, but this is such a good show. Like, it was worth being on here for 30 plus minutes, because the information you just gathered right here for free, you can use this and be able to be a homeowner within the next 2 months. Ain't that right, CB?
Yes, yes. Come sit down with us. Let's get you started.
Absolutely.
Started.
And I want to say, listen, to everybody out there, we want to say thank you. Everybody who made it through 2020, God bless you. Continue to spread good love, good light to people. Continue to be a positive influence for people. And because we're all going through something, right? So let's make sure that we're giving good information. Be a great friend, family member, supporter, and share this with somebody, right? Maybe somebody in the future is going to be needing to make a move, and it could be life-changing for them, just this information. So let's make sure we do the right thing. Let's go ahead and do that. We do the right thing is actually one of our core values. So yeah, just so you know. But Charles, man, I appreciate you. You are a brother to me. I am so grateful for you to be a business partner of mine. And I know all of our clients love you. Everybody on the team loves you. So it's always a pleasure, and I'm always grateful when you are able to be in your presence and you show your face, man, and spread your knowledge. So thank you, brother.
Hey, thank you.
All right, you guys, take care. Like I always will close with, our goal is to help you reach yours. If you need anything at all, please never hesitate to reach out, okay? All right, you guys, take care.
See ya.